All right, so I'm Matt Foley, Director of Content Studio, presenting the Ned Kelly Discovery Hub for the Rural City of Wangaratta today. This project was very much, and this type of project is very much a collaborative design exercise, so I'd like to acknowledge Convergence Design, our interpretation designers, Web Consult, the engineers, Sinatra Murphy, the landscapers, and Pigeon Ward, the exhibition graphic designers, and also my co-pilot to Content Studio, Alan, Ben and Matt. Two main aims of the project. The first was to provide a gateway and focus for visitors to the site of the siege and the broader Kelly story, a significant part of Australia's colonial history. And the second was to provide a compelling reason for basically travellers on the Hume Highway to pull off and explore Glenrowan further. Glenrowan is 2.5 hours from Melbourne. It's on the Melbourne to Sydney train line. It's about 10 minutes off the Hume Highway. The siege site is now surrounded by residential development, and although the town of Glenrowan is linked with the notorious siege of June 1880, the artefacts associated with the siege are mainly long gone. The original railway station where the police disembarked and advanced on the gang, the inn where the bushrangers held out, the tavern where the sympathisers gathered, and the train no longer stops in Glenrowan. All that remains are some reconstructions of the original buildings from the 1980s and some dated interpretations. The image on the right is the marker for where Ned Kelly was apprehended by the police. There's a strip of tourist-focused shops with plenty of Kelly references, from the Big Ned to Ned's Burgers to an animatronic museum reenacting the siege. There was no cultural focus for visitors. The building is sited to draw in visitors approaching from both Melbourne or Sydney and provide a lens to the event of the siege. You pass through the interpretive centre, providing context, to a panoramic window which overlooks the site. A first floor viewing platform connects you to the greater Kelly gang story. So the brief was to design a circular viewing platform, which led to the form. The roof over the viewing platform started creating hard to avoid visual references to Ned Kelly's iconic helmet, and the curved stair leads up to the viewing platform, creating a helix. We twisted the form to create a series of helices, the different radii adding to the visual dynamism of the structure. We used steel to create this structure. It strengthened a small section, built a frame for the facade, which was light, both in weight, but also visually. Its ability to be easily fabricated provided the flexibility needed to construct the series of helices that featured the design. Steel was also an important expressive part of our design as it referenced the armour of the Kelly gang. If you go to the next slide, thousands of small pieces of fabricated steel were welded into 18 wall panels and were trucked to site and bolted together in a week without too much basically fuss. It was amazing. Real credit to the structural steel shop drawers. The ground floor houses an interpretive centre, which introduces visitors to the context and the events of the siege, and also some toilets. A major reason for stopping if you are travelling up the Hume Highway. The first floor viewing platform acts as a compass to the key events of the broader Kelly story, and a roof over provides respite to visitors. This was one of a number of designs presented to the community of Glenrowan. There were some informal consultation sessions held in the Glenrowan Hotel on Tuesday afternoons a couple of years ago, and this was overwhelmingly chosen as the preferred option. The charred timber cladding acknowledges the role fire plays in the Australian bush and in the events of the siege. Charring also preserves the timber, reducing the need for applied finishes in what is a much more extreme environment than Melbourne. As the building can be approached from different directions, from road, train or bike, it was important for the facades to present to all approaches. Stainless steel web mesh encloses the lookout. Its transparency allows uninterrupted sight lines of the culturally significant sites. Board and batten cladding references the bush construction typology at the time. As you go into the interpretive centre, a welcome to Kelly Country interpretation welcomes you. Visitors then circle round to panels introducing you to the people and characters of the siege. And then a central projection wall outlines a contest for land between the Indigenous landowners, squatters, selectors, settlers, and also the policies that created the environment which produced the bushrangers. You then move through a timeline of the siege events and arrive at a projection wall which brings to life the events of the siege. At completion, the projection screens become transparent, the black outlines draw back to reveal a view of the siege site through the panoramic window. Outside, the curving staircase takes visitors up to the viewing platform. And the platform features a central rondel with a cast bronze map of the surrounding area. A seat inspired by Ned's green sash provides visitors with a place to rest. In the rondel, cast stainless steel rails basically lead you to the perimeter, where there are didactic panels with acid-edged steel. Each one of those panels relates to either Euroa or Yorta or another, basically part of the broader Kelly story. Once established, the landscape designed by Sinatra Murphy will conceptually recreate the original semi-clear woodland of the railway paddocks, and we use some of these images for inspiration. Sinatra Murphy used local grassy woodland species propagated at a local nursery for the project to create garden bed space in a grassland around existing trees. Most visitors to Glenrowan leave by 4 or 5 p.m. We were aware that the project, and particularly the viewing platform, had the opportunity and potential to become an asset for the local community after hours. We referenced the Victorian rotundas in the parks surrounding Melbourne when we had our discussions with the community groups. To facilitate this, we paid special attention to the lighting with the intention of creating a night presence both on the viewing platform and also in the surrounding parkland that approaches. Thank you to the Rural City of Wangaratta, particularly Alan Thrum, who worked with us and was a major supporter of the project. People of the Bangarang Yorta Yorta who we worked on, particularly Uncle Dozer, who was our main participator in the project. Thank you.